City Council regular meeting. Monday, June 15th at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Here.
Mayor Farr,
Here.
Councilmember Calderon,
Here.
Councilmember Roberts,
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez absent.
Allegiance. Yeah. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Proclamations or introductions of new promoted employees. We'll move now to community participation forum. Members of the public may address city council on matters not listed on the agenda. City council may not discuss nor take action on any community participation item brought forward by a member of the community. Comments are requested to be limited to 3 minutes.
I have the speaker cards, Mr. Mayor.
Any response to public? And we'll close community participation and move to consent agenda. I move that we approve.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
You have to open.
You do. Allow the public to comment on the consent agenda.
Open for public comment on the consent agenda items listed. Close consent agenda. A motion to approve. Second.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
Mayor Farr,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Item number 4, informational item, chief planning session, administration.
Mayor and council, city staff will be just presenting to you a brief summary of the department. We'll be going through each department. We have just a presentation slide. Just to provide an update, we do have the budget that's going to be presented to everyone, but we just wanted to have an opportunity to provide some additional information to council. We'll start with finance department.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. It's gonna be pretty short. I'm just gonna list some things that the finance department does. We don't really have much of a CIP project as far as like public works and electric or but we do support them a lot on more of the administrative and financial side. But this is just a high level overview of what the finance department does here at the city and finance staff. So obviously utilities, we process the monthly utility bills, late notices, shut-offs, and we do reconcile the utility accounts, making sure payments were processed correctly, etc. We deal with accounts payable. We do those every other week. We verify that other departments have entered them correctly, or we assist them if they have any questions, making sure they're posting to the correct accounts, things like that. And we also reconcile those general ledger accounts to make sure, ready for audit, making sure they got posted to where they need to be posted. Accounts receivable, we invoice those as well to City of Biggs, police services, electric maintenance contract, and we reconcile those to make sure we receive payment, they're paid, or if we need to follow up. We do process payroll as well bi-weekly. As well, we report to CalPERS and maintain those accounts for all the employees. We do have some month-end checks that are payroll related that we process as well. There is monthly, quarterly, and yearly reporting, especially to the state, federal reporting, 941 forms, things like that. Grants, some of the grants, not all of them, some are managed by Bennett, and then the grants that we do currently have, we do manage those and we report on them. We do assist other departments, and we are in those meetings when we meet with California Consulting for any grants that we are trying to pursue. We are sitting in those meetings, providing financial numbers, feedback, things like that. And then just regular reporting. There's a annual city citywide audit, there's a TDA audit, audits it's done through BCAG. As well as triennial audit that they do every 3 years, there's SCO reporting, which is reporting to the state. We do a transit and a streets report to them, and then our auditors assist us with the big financial reporting to the SEO. Various utility energy reports that we have to report to the state as well. On surcharge that we collect, and we recently went through an audit with California Department of Tax and I forget the whole name. CDTFA, I think is the acronym. Investments, myself and Miguel, business service supervisor, attend the quarterly meetings. And then we do also overlook and manage the investment portfolio there on behalf of the city. Some miscellaneous things, we represent myself, Miguel as well, and then Patricia Turner is on the risk side for NCCSIF, and we do attend those. There's also a police side that I believe Chief attends on part of NCCSIF as well. It's a group of police chiefs, lieutenants, things like that we attend. It's really discussing risk and how to reduce it, talk about some things that may be affecting other cities or just good to look out for. So we do attend those. BCAG reporting, we prepare the budget and reconcile the budget on an ongoing basis. We do bank reconciliations and journal entries to make sure we stay up to date, and that's more for the audit, and so we know how much money we have on hand at that a particular point in time. Again, we support and assist all departments with whatever's going on, AP, grants, general questions, utilities, various things. Do some project accounting too, where we track projects. If we want to do a project and we want to know how much it's going to cost at the end of whenever the project's done, we do track those, and then staff will enter their time and will allocate all their benefits, all their hourlies. So we do manage those as well. Grants, I accidentally put that one in there twice. And then the new utility assistance program, that one, we just got it finalized and they should have it out to the public here soon. So that should come out this week, I believe. And then as well, when I did in POCO, we do the energy efficiency, which I did bring to council recently. Then next page, Carl. It's just our finance staff. We have 2 admin clerks, that's the front, that take payments, 2 accounting techs that handle the majority of AP and payroll work. Accountant does bank recs, audit, heavy ending, complex accounting entries. We have a business service supervisor, which oversees the office and oversees, works in conjunction really with the accountant, making sure journal entries and on the finance side up to date. And then myself, which I manage the finance staff and everything else. So that's pretty much it. We are continually reviewing, revalidating staff workload as new policies come to light, or there's new regulations on the state, federal, or the gas fee level. So we're constantly reassigning and reassigning workload to staff as they come up. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, regarding finance department, I'm happy to answer any.
Is it a detailed description of the grants we have and what are they for exactly?
The grants that we currently have?
Well, you can just give me some kind of form or literature so I can know what they are about.
I can provide one. I don't have it off the top of my head.
We do plan to provide a future report on grants, what we've applied for. I know that we've applied for several grants and we have been unsuccessful. But staff has spent a lot of hours and a lot of time going after grants in all different departments. So we could provide a summary of the grants that we've gone out for with a brief description, and we can put it on informational for a future council meeting. I'll make a note of that.
Comment, council? No. Any comment public? No. Okay, not that party.
It continues. It continues. The presentation.
I'm next. We have, I'll be covering the clerking side of the administration. The clerk functions, we are a small city environment, so the clerk performs a broad spectrum of, they have a lot of responsibilities. Currently, we have city administrators, city clerk, and the deputy city clerk, which is Carmen. Carmen has been taking the lead role on a lot of the elections and communication with councils. Legislative support, we prepare and publish the city council agendas, as you're aware, report and maintain all of the meeting minutes. We manage the ordinances, resolutions, contracts. We upload all the information, ensure that during audit, answer any questions that auditors may have. So we also have some activity with audit. We also ensure compliance with the Brown Act and the Public Records Act. There's a records management portion that is very important with the city as far as public records requests when they come in. So we are responsible to maintain the city records and archives. We manage the public records requests and records accessibility. Recently, we are looking into new software that we can utilize for those record requests. There are some cities that spend a great deal of time. We're very fortunate that we don't get that many, but when we do, it takes a lot of staff time and inner workings with other departments to gather the data. We assist departments with records, again, records management, compliance requirements, and public transparency initiatives. Elections this year, as in the past, has been handled by Carmen. I do want to point out she's been very active and assisting and attending all of the meetings to coordinate the elections with the county elections office, administer candidate filing processes, track and maintain the statements of the Form 700s that everyone gets those nice letters every year, ensure compliance with election and campaigning reporting requirements. On top of that, it's a lot of administrative support to myself, city administrator, the city council, deputy city clerk also provides administrative support to all the city departments. So when it comes to everything that comes to the council here that you approve, it's going through the hands of the deputy clerk to ensure all the documents are signed, all the information is gathered, it's scanned and uploaded to our files and forwarded over to city department staff to move forward with any contracts and specifications. It could be anything from grants, it could be anything from an array of contracts, bids, proposals, and major projects. Coordinate legal notices, public hearings, board and commission appointments, and manage city clerk functions, notary services, and public inquiries. Our organizational goals that we have is develop and implement a new citywide records retention policy. We have been talking about that for some time now. Historically, we have a lot of records that I believe we could be destroyed, but at this time, we're trying to update our records retention policy and manage our storage facilities of those records where they're currently contained. Review and update outdated municipal code provisions with the city attorney. We work collaboratively with the department heads and also the city attorney to provide a legal scope when we have questions on ordinances and legal contracts. Maintain compliance with the Brown Act and Public Records Act, FPPC, and election laws. We improve the records management and organizational efficiency. Major upcoming responsibilities that we have, again, are the 2026 municipal elections and ongoing Public Records Act requests that are coming through. Again, we are working on, it's called Next Request, which is going to be a public records software that we have. It tracks and keeps track of all of the information and all the requests that are coming through from the public and other agencies. Future needs, we want to continue the records preservation and archiving efforts. Ongoing, we do have, as you recall, even during some time ago, we talked about records and files downstairs that we need scanned. It's going to require a lot of time. It's a very time-consuming project. It involves a lot of APN files and a lot of other records too, not just personnel records. It's all across the city records. Ongoing professional development and training, obtaining the Master Municipal Clerk certification through the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And then also consider a standalone city clerk position to meet the ongoing organizational compliance demands. We do have a human resource department. Historically, we didn't. It was most of the work was done through provided through finance. Over time, it was established that there was a need for review of human resource policies. Human resource is really important for the city. It supports all departments' operations through recruitment, employee development, labor relations, risk management, through NCCSIF. As you heard, Tricia Taverner, who is our HR manager, does attend the risk section. A lot of information comes through that portion of the NCC meetings and also compliance while fostering positive and productive workplace culture. We do have staffing one HR director, which is under the scope of the city administrator, and then one HR manager. The functions are recruiting and hiring, labor relations, risk management, policy administration, employee relations, benefits administration, training and development, and compliance. We have we've been working the last year with being new to the department. We've been working on reviewing a lot of policies, missing policies and updating policies. Here's a list of current policies that we have that are under review, pending legal. Some have already been reviewed and some are ready to go to council and some aren't. But here's a list. Waiver and release information forms, human resource guidelines, city-wide accommodation leave policy, a workman's comp admin manual, new drug alcohol policy, personnel and payroll records retention policy, social media policy, teleworking policy and agreement, photo authorization form, travel policy, onboarding and offboarding checklist and processing, workforce partnership and alliance programs, training and retention. There's also important goals I think that we've accomplished is the leadership succession planning with our new perfect example is the new directors that were recently hired, successful new hires, 14 across all departments, review and organization of the personnel files and completion of the major employee evaluations in other departments, continuation of departmental staff and leadership training through the employee work culture program, new features of the ERP 10, which is an HR module. We're going to be uploading information in there for easier access and record keeping. We're trying to move away from as much paper as we can. And our current software allows for internal control and security for just the HR staff to have access to those records. Also, development of internal controls within the software. We have negotiated 3 labor contracts utilizing the wage study, and then review of existing contracts for future and planning a future RFP in consideration before council. Those will be coming to you. We have a few RFPs that will be coming. And the next section is our planning department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I feel I don't have enough words on my slide. I have misunderstood the assignment. So planning department, obviously, we're the spearhead for any kind of community development that comes in. Everything from businesses to building and construction. Chico used to joke, they used to call us dream killers. People come in with an idea of something they want to do, and then we tell them all the things they don't want to do. There's a lot of finesse in that. It means how do you get somebody to do things they don't want to do and make them still be happy about it. So there's a lot of that going on, a lot of just, public relations. In addition to that, obviously planning is in charge of the general plan, a lot of the municipal code. So these are the overarching guiding books that kind of tell us how we want to move forward. The general plan is a more broad view, and then the municipal code is the instructions on how to implement the general plan. Over the last year, I think the big thing that we all kind of were stressed about was the housing element. It was over 2 years overdue, and HCD was breathing down our neck. They have a lot of power to do take away some key elements that we need to function as a city. So we were able to get that pushed through. It was really important. That, of course, goes hand in hand with the safety element. So that safety element is in full swing now. It was a heavy lift. It was something that obviously had been worked on for a long time, but we were able to push it through in under a year, which was I'm actually pretty proud of. Same with the MSR, the Municipal Service Review. I got to give a lot of credit to LAFCO and Shannon Costa. She spent a lot of time helping us put that together. So that was a big one that I think I was lingering for about 5 years or so. And so we were able to push that through in under a year. I think with the change of all these department heads, there was it felt a little bit chaotic. We're all kind of trying to find our way and how to move forward with new people and new positions and so fine tuning those processes and putting together applications and helping guide the public through these processes in a way that's functional, that helps them feel empowered, helps them understand what the process is and what the challenges they're going to be facing was a big part of it. It continues to be a big part of this department moving forward. Moving on, we will continue to obviously refine those systems. Things will always be changing. There'll be new mandates and new legislation that require us to rethink the way we approach these problems. So refining those systems and making sure that we stay on top of those things is always important. And that's true for the general plan, the MSR, as we continue to grow and the desires of the community, the view of council or planning commission, what they want and what they hear the community saying to them will change, and that will change our direction and the way we approach these problems. So we will continue to do those things and look forward to continuing to make those things happen. I think that in the past, since I started here, one of the big challenges was a lot of people feeling stagnant. We had several maps that were just kind of lingering. I know Step Estates was started in 2005 or something. And then, of course, Legacy was a project that had been pushed back over and over again, and they were on their 5th submittal or something. And so being able to get those projects moving forward and those people moving towards progress and development is, I think, what we're really striving for here at this time. There's also a couple of maps that have just been silent that we were able to kind of poke those people and see what they wanted to do. And so we've had maps apply for extensions, and the people that own those maps are now re-engaging with developers and looking at what their options are. So those maps don't expire and go dormant, and it all feels like a waste of effort. So I'm glad that we're able to spur up that interest. I've also been going to the housing summit, which normally this would be something that a housing department does. Obviously, we can't really have a housing department here, but I'm meeting with all the other housing department people in the county and look at what they're doing to try and stir up development. It really kind of helps me get perspective on what our options are and how we can get people to the finish line. I've recently also been talking to Katie Simmons, who's the deputy director of administrative services for Butte County. She's working on a project. It's slipping the name of it's slipping my mind, but it's about economic development. Again, we can't really have an economic development officer here, but we work with those people to see what people are doing and how we can help facilitate that type of engagement and get people moving in that direction. Aside from that, if there's any questions about what I do or the direction we're moving, or have that conversation.
I did want to add, we do have a code enforcement personnel. We have one, Pamela Roberts, who has taken it really seriously and gotten actually licensed to do a lot of the work. She took a lot of initiative in the last year, and this is where we talk about succession planning and filling these gaps of services that we have. We have one staff who is assisted by the Butte County Code Enforcement on certain cases, depending on how we elevate them. Current active code enforcement report for the last year, there were 30 cases. Unfounded violations fine were 5. Code enforcement cases closed out of 67. We closed 67. There were 16 sent to the police department and 118 total investigated. Business licenses, it's also under the purview of code enforcement to ensure that everyone that's doing business in the city has an active license. Current licenses issued were 395. And then total businesses for 2025 were 422. And then inactive businesses for the last year were 22. Yard sale signs, they also notice when there's signs, though code enforcement will go up and down, pull the signs down, notify that they're not to be posting signage on public poles. So that's another thing that code enforcement handles. There was 40 of them pulled down and letters were sent out. Fire abatement notices, there were 81. Currently closed 79. This is last year's numbers. We're currently starting code enforcement this year for weed abatement and fire abatement. Usually fire department works collaboratively with our code enforcement officer. Letters are sent out that allow for enough adequate time for people to keep the policy and the ordinance of weeds and cutting down and removing debris, any vehicles. Pictures are taken, letters are sent out, then another notice is sent. So it's a whole process, and we're just starting that now with a fire department. So.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, audience here in the internet. My name is Jimmy Alonso. I put together this, I wasn't sure the format how to do it, so I did the best I could. So last week was my first 30 days on the job. My current staffing levels are 6 of us, so I myself, the recreation coordinator, manager, then I have my coordinator, 2 recreation aides, and I have 2 others. 1 site supervisor for soccer and 1 for basketball when it happens, and then also 1 for the OEP, the outdoor equity program grant that we have. Past plans that we've had that I want to continue to do, complete is fulfill and complete the remaining OEP events that we have scheduled for the rest of the year. I want to honor some of the past programming that we had, so we didn't do away with any of it going into as I stepped into this position. And I also want to continue to honor the letters and breakfast with Santa. Those were pretty fun things to do. I saw them, my kids participated in them, so I want to continue to do that. Current plans, you can scroll up a little bit. I am just continuing to develop rapport with the staff and find out their strengths and how I can utilize them as they're learning about me as well. Other things that we just got done is now we have a dedicated cell phone number to contact the recreation department, which was kind of difficult before I got here. But now we have a little more open communication. Updated our Facebook page with my introduction and a little summary of what the programming that was attached to it. Getting more familiar with the operational side of the job. Maintaining our senior program. Currently Tuesdays and Thursdays we offer breakfast from 9 to 9:30. Then we have bingo from 9:30 to 11. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays is our commodities. So a lot of the seniors and community members who come in to help get some of the commodities. Some of my current plans is I want to pursue this National Fitness Campaign grant for the purpose of acquiring an outdoor fitness center similar to what's one in San Francisco and one that Buva College has. I spoke with Allison Campbell earlier today. She's a California representative in this area, and she been talking to her for about an hour. Feels like we would be a good fit for our population, small and lacking in certain recreation areas. I did attach a little video about it. If we can watch that just for informational purposes, it's about 3 minutes.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. From municipal parks and trails to college campuses to high schools nationwide, we're bringing free fitness coverage. We're just getting started here. Hi, I'm Mitch Minaj, founder of the National Fitness. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, It is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Standards, we, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness world was such an attraction. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for truly anyone, no matter what your age is, no matter what physical fitness level is, skills are, it is very adaptable. This fitness forum is one of the best things that Center City has ever done.
Thousands of certified ambassadors who trained to deliver classes, challenges, and as part of our national fitness programs are bringing students outdoors across America. Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to these programs. Simply scan a new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free designed to optimize your experience of fitness. Learn moves and take challenges to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we have Fitness Court Studio, ultimate community wellness hub, uniting the power of yoga, sunlight, bodyweight fitness, and Fitness Court Public Art continues to grow, inspire those across the country. Artists collaborate, pioneers, a lifelong fitness court studios. Proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness. We're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that, from the city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tie around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. This partnership really is an opportunity for us to scalable, create opportunities for. So I would actually invite cities and organizations to all explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We are committed to raise over $1 billion to bring the campaign to 5,000 cities and schools, building the largest outdoor fitness world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free. That's it.
So that's just the video, it's just for informational purposes for us to, just to absorb and consider and think about as we move forward. If it's something that we do, why don't want to go forward, we'll have follow-up conversations as we move forward. That was just primarily for informational purposes. To continue on, want to continue to establish a positive relationship with the community via the programming, various meet and greets, community events such as the Kids Free Fishing Day that we had. Red Suspenders Day that we had, Wednesdays coming, Senior Citizen Appreciation Day, as well as like the community picnic, which is on the 27th this month, and other events that we have. I am currently looking at hosting free movie nights at MVP, Manny Vera Park, in the pickleball courts. Towards the evening when it's almost dark, but not too dark yet because there's not a lot of lighting there. Also looking at pursuing maybe a website dedicated to the Gridley Recreation Department. I spoke to in conversations with various community members, they have expressed kind of some frustration not being able to find information easy. Some don't have Facebook and don't do social media. So I think we're missing a huge part of our community that doesn't do social media or relies mostly on like websites to go find out information. So those are conversations that I'll have a little bit later with like Elisa and the rest of the team about how we can accommodate that. Also, I've looked at different recreation department websites like Paradise, Yuba City, and Chico, and they have their websites are pretty easy to use. They're pretty user friendly. There is no Spanish translation in any of our website. For the community to access. So there's another portion of our community that doesn't get information because there's nothing translated in Spanish that I found. It's scrolling up a little bit. a few new programs that I introduced in addition to what the recreation program already had in place was I started a senior fitness program. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, haven't had many bites on it, but I have had on the Tuesday, Thursdays, chair yoga. Had a couple ladies come out. We're bringing more friends with them. It's just a drop-in time. I usually am like the hype person. I talk to them, I check in with them. I participate in the chair yoga with them, and then afterwards I do a follow-up and how was it? Was it challenging, not challenging enough, trying to gauge where they're at. Then we finish with a little breathing relaxation techniques. Also offered a Team Fit, but haven't had much bite on that, but it's okay. I think the teenagers are stuck in the devices, so I'm trying to get them out of the devices. Next week, I'm gonna have intro basketball skills camp. One of the things I noticed that really lacks is some of the recreation basketball for little kids, like the 10 and unders. I know they have a league that starts in January, and I've many years ago, when I first came here from Paradise, I volunteered to be a referee for a season. And I noticed they use Manzanita, which is a very nice indoor court, but it's very small if you're going to have two games going away from you and towards you rather than the traditional left to right when you're sitting in the stands. And so there is no practice time for them. And so they don't get much practice time other than showing up half an hour before a game, trying to practice a little bit, and then have a game, which is kind of crazy to me because if they're showing up late for a variety of reasons or have other siblings, they're probably more excited to just be there, see their teammates, and then play a game. And that game looks just like that practice would be kind of chaotic. So my thought was to maybe introduce a basketball skills camp for the little kids and help offer to talk to them about like the lingo of basketball, definitions of what a rebound is, what an assist is, spacing on the court. Do some various drills to help develop passing and dribbling and shooting so they feel a little more comfortable and confident when the season gets here. In the works, I'm working on a movie night inside the pickleball course, like I said. I'm going to be purchasing a popcorn machine and offering a small water bottle for free. I'm trying to do theme movies. So if we have like a Minions night, come dress as Minion, come hang out, you know. I chose the pickleball courts just because it's a little bit more contained. And I can contain people that come in and come out. I wanted to do it in the park, but I have no control of who walks up. So I chose the pickleball courts because I can contain who comes in and comes out, and also any trash that would possibly happen at the event, instead of putting it in the responsibility of my maintenance crew to pick up afterwards. So I can kind of contain that. Plus our dumpster is right next to the pickleball courts. In July, programming ideas that I have is also to do an intro soccer skills camp, the same thing, because they don't have that. So it's primarily for the little kids to help get them up to speed on some drills and some conditioning and some lingo. And then they can have that to maybe practice on before the league starts in September. Another idea I have is a night bike light ride throughout town, or I'm working on a safe route through town that maybe ends at the park and we give out snow cones or something like that. But basically you have like lights around your rims, around your bike, and you go around the community, some of the areas for like a night light bike ride. Something that I saw when I was in New Orleans a couple of years ago, and I thought that was just the coolest thing to see 50 people with the bikes and lights and music going around a tour of New Orleans. I thought that was super cool. So I thought, why not do something like that here? Which could also lead to, if it's success, maybe it's something that we do where it's like, hey, first day of school or on a Friday, we can ride around on a safe tour with like maybe law enforcement helping us and dropping people off at school. Be pretty cool thing, like hey, Friday we have a bike ride where we can go a certain route. If you have your bike, join us and we'll get you safely across the streets. Stop at those schools. All right, see you later, have a good day type of stuff. Also working on a park scavenger hunt. My idea behind that would be to come up with about 20 to 25 questions for each of the parks that we have here. You'd get your scavenger hunt sheet at the rec department for $3. You have as much time as you need to find all the objects, fill in all the information for the objects, and then when you're done, my idea would be that you come back to the rec department with your completed scavenger hunt, and you would get a sticker that park that you completed your task. So if it's Dado Park, you see the gazebo, and it says Dado Park. It's Rotary Park, you have the Rotary symbol, it says Rotary Park. Skate park, so on and so forth, code parks, so on and so forth. So that way, when they go for these scavenger hunts, they're going with the perspective of looking at through these questions and finding out, well, how many trees are there at Dello Park? How many rose gardens are there at, this park? How many? And you get to know a little bit more about the parks. Why is it named Dello Park? Who is Nick Dello? So you get a little history behind it. Plus you get a sticker at the end. I also just purchased a couple digital cameras that they can use and sign out for some of the questions that might require like a picture of you in front of the baseball fields or showcasing like one of the answers that via a picture. And then when you bring it back, we'll print out that picture for you and you can leave with not only a sticker of the park, but a picture of you and your friends, whoever did the scavenger hunt. I'm also looking at using the pickleball courts during the basketball season. A lot of the kids that are 10 and under use the portable courts. They don't use the regular sized basketball courts. And there's really nowhere that I've ever heard of them historically practicing before the season. So I thought, well, why don't I use the pickleball courts, put 4 portable hoops inside where the pickleball courts are. I can remove the nets. I talked to my groundskeeper, Jose, who can do this for me, and have on Fridays maybe secure the pickleball courts on Fridays for all of those teams and offer an hour of practice for 4 teams. So each hour there's 4 teams practicing and then rotate for 3 hours. So I get 12 teams who could practice at least an hour of at a place and with the rims that they're going to use the following day at Manzanita with the portable courts. It's nothing that's ever been offered before since I've been here for 7 years. And I thought, why not give them some exposure to actual practice in basketball before they show up on Saturday and play a game that looks a little bit more reflective of a basketball game, not a jungle ball, if that makes sense. Future plans, I want to continue to pursue this national fitness campaign, find out more about it. Obviously, being the recreation manager, I'm curious about what's going on with the Gridley Sports Complex. I had mentioned earlier in one of my meetings about possibly the idea of, while we're still working on the soccer fields, maybe outfitting the perimeter of it, some of the parcels that we own with maybe it's a fitness center there or some basketball courts there. It's going to be our mecca of recreation area. Let's start outfitting some of the outside parts of it before we get to the main part, which is the soccer field space. Other things I was talking with earlier today is trying to bring back a farmers market here or a pop-up farmers market. I go to several farmers markets and I plan on the next time I go this weekend is asking some of those vendors, like, hey, if there was something in Gridley, would you guys make it? And just to kind of gauge people being able to come maybe put up their easy up here and selling fruits and vegetables here and possibly having our own farmers market here so that community members don't have to travel away from Gridley. They can come right downtown to probably Dello Park or Rotary Park because there's more space right there and shade. Other thing that I looked at, and this is kind of way down the road, there was this in Boston, this Charleston Park, there's this Emerald Necklace Conservancy where they put these LED lights around all of their community trees in hopes to bring these 2 neighboring neighborhoods kind of together and utilize the park for just leisure, for recreation and kind of mental health and utilizing that outside with this use of lights around the park. It looked really beautiful. They used the green colored emerald and it looked amazing. I was like, that would be so cool if like all of our parks here had lights wrapped around the trunks of them. And then when people say, hey, been to Gridley, have you seen their trees? Have you seen the parks at the Gridley tree? It would be something worthwhile to talk about. And then some other stuff, just some conservation, maybe some educational tours that we could offer for some of the schools during the summertime, just similar to like how Chico Nature Center does tours around the park and stuff like that. And then maybe having like a community cleanup day where we just dedicate, a couple hours of the day in a certain area. We just kind of, revitalize our community in the areas that need it. I mean, if there's any tagging, maybe we have some volunteers that go help, remove the tagging or a little bit of yard work somewhere in a park that needs it, or possibly even, if there's a community members, any seniors that are like, hey, it could really benefit, they could apply and we can look at it and maybe send a team of volunteers to help do a little bit of weed abatement and something easy to kind of help the senior population out. That's what I have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, this is my kind of a first official kind of report of what I've been doing in my first 30 days. Hope it's satisfactory.
Yeah, is there I mean, I like some of your plans, yeah. Definitely, but do we have a calendar, basically, especially the fitness program?
Mhm.
That would be really great.
Yeah, we do have a little calendar that's on the Facebook site. I believe, that would be another reason why to look at possibly having a recreation department website, so we can put all the calendar stuff information there. It would have drop down tabs with like all the parks, information about the parks, information about how to donate, information on how to use the rental space. So we can add the stuff like Mr. Farr Chief Farr had proposed with, like, you know, renting a spot, so that could be information that put on there. I really like how Paradise Recreation Department has their website set up. So I do have a call out to my friend Jeff Daly on who did they use, how much did it cost, just to kind of get an idea of what it would look like. So I can present it to my team here. But it's really user friendly. Other than that, we have the city site, which I'm working on. I just got access to on Friday. So I'm going to work on trying to update that. But it's very limiting. The city website is very limiting. And to get to the recreation department, you've got to go through like 5 different pages, you know, to find it. So it's hard to find. And if you're not very computer savvy, I can see how easily it would be for somebody to say, you know what, I don't even want to know about it. And there's been a good number of community members who have come to the recreation department who have said, I didn't know this was here. I came and found out today. I don't do social media, or I didn't know what to look for it in the city site. So I made me start thinking about how can we, you know, best serve the community with information outside of social media, which would be a website. And so I thought that was very important to consider. And I definitely want to pursue that more, because I think, like I
Have
said,
any idea how many kids that are involved in soccer this year?
I know we have a waiting list of about 89, 90 kids. And I have a waiting list of about 50 coaches. I'm working with our HR person right now to make sure that our live scanning document is up to code. And I have a call out to about 3/4 of all the coaches to let them know that I have a mobile live scan that's going to be set up here, hopefully within the next week or two, and then invite them all to come on a Saturday so they can all get their fingerprints done. Otherwise, we have to rely on them to take time out of their day to either go to Chico, Oroville, or Yuba City, or schedule an appointment with the sheriff's department, which their window is like up until like 2:00. And if you're working, it's going to be hard to get there. So I know some people who also work on the weekend, so I'm going to try my best that I can accommodate as many as I can to get them registered. And as soon as we get those coaches cleared, we can start assembling more teams with the remaining 90 or so kids that are on the wait list. So there is a number of kids waiting, and there is a number of coaches that need to be fingerprinted beforehand so that we can start creating those teams. I'm just waiting on the green light. Once that form is done, and we're going to start rolling with that. Anything else? All right, thank you. Yeah.
That's it. That's all we have for the presentation.
Comment, public on strategic planning. Seeing none. I'll move to item number 5, final ordinance statement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I prepared a staff report as well as draft language for additional suggested provisions for the fireworks ordinance. The language that I've drafted is just sort of a baseline, and what I'm looking for from the council tonight is just more specific direction on exactly what they would like the rules for fireworks to be. So the first is date and time restrictions. The way it was, the way it's drafted in the staff report and with the suggested language is fireworks from June 28th through July 6th with a 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Time window. We can select any dates we want or any times we want. And what I'm looking for is feedback on, you know, what the council thinks is reasonable or what it ought to be. Similarly, I've provided draft language, you know, creating liability for unsupervised minors as well as social host liability for folks hosting fireworks that, you know, are in violation of any of the rules that we adopt. We have the emergency suspension of firework use provision that we discussed previously. And then last is a penalties section for violations of the fireworks ordinance. As it's drafted now, I did administrative fine of $1,000, which is much more than the typical administrative fine. There was some discussion about making a misdemeanor crime. I think that, you know, on that topic, the council was generally discussing the use of illegal fireworks as being a misdemeanor. It is already a misdemeanor under state law. So, you know, if our local police make that arrest and send it over to the DA's office, you know, hopefully they'll be prosecuted for a misdemeanor crime. I didn't get the impression that the council was interested in maybe making every violation of the fireworks ordinance a misdemeanor, which is to say, you know, lighting a firework off at 11:15 when it's an 11 p.m. curfew on fireworks, right? If it's a safe and sane firework that's allowed otherwise. So that's the way it's drafted now. But we can make it all a misdemeanor. That can be done. You know, the practical problem is, of course, that whether the local DA wants to prosecute misdemeanor fireworks cases for, you know, late fireworks in the city of Gridley, right? Versus the administrative fine is something the city retains control over and has the ability to pursue the money from the offender and can enforce, you know, that way.
I got one question. How do we determine what's safe and sane?
That's defined under state law.
We're actually marked on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Mary, for mine,
I don't think everything should be a misdemeanor. I think that the illegal fireworks that are set off, you know, after hours during times of the year that are not within these parameters should be a fine, and that goes along with that. One of the big things is it's not just me, but I think there's more of us here that live within the battleground of hearing these things all over the, you know, different times of the year. So, and they're pretty loud, and
with those, the vice chair's talking about it, they're not fireworks, they're just a loud boom. Is that still classified as a firework? I mean, it rattles the windows.
I don't know the answer to that question off the top of my head, right? What device are they setting off or not, right? But it's, you know, if they're setting off an M80, the answer is it's an illegal firework. And yes, they, you know, have committed a misdemeanor. And if they, you know, we can put together a case and send it over to the DA, they can be prosecuted that way.
It all should be conclusive about.
We've discussed the difficulty in enforcement, right? Because it's light it off and run away. But I think the hope is with adopting a new structure here that you'll at least push firework use to a shorter period of time and to a shorter window of time. And that gives even the folks that are going to do illegal fireworks perhaps some pause in doing them, at least outside of these time windows, right?
I purchased fireworks for a very long time for my grandkids, and I never really knew any of the safety measures. Should anyone who's selling fireworks, like the Lions, they were concerned about some of the possible changes we would authorize here at the the council meeting. Shouldn't they have some kind of item, a list of things that would be safety precautions for parents and people who have children?
I haven't seen that legally required. And for what it's worth, it's a good question because what I have here is not a proposal to change the current fireworks sales licensing that exists under the other ordinance, right? And we were planning to keep that. But I do think it's possible that we could require sellers to include the city rules on fireworks to be posted on their fireworks sales booths.
That question. Are the dates that possession in that, or do those match up with the dates that we have for selling? That was my question to you.
We're only allowed to sell, I think, till the 4th. I think by the 5th, they have to take everything down.
Yeah, I think we're late on either side of it is the answer. And that's the last piece of this is that the way these ordinances are typically written, they outlaw possession outside of that window as well. With I guess the idea being that they don't want people hoarding fireworks, which can be somewhat dangerous, right? But I think the concern I've heard from the council is more generally them being set off at all times of the year, all hours of the night, versus, concern about people possessing them.
I was just looking at if they could sell them at a longer date or sooner than what they can possess them, that could be some things, but where they can possess them before or after, then it's fine.
What are the council's thoughts on the date and time restrictions generally? I mean, when it comes to, June 28th to July 6th, I mean, is that too long? Is it too short?
I think a couple of days after, maybe so they can get rid of what they have. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Is to give them a couple more, nights or whatever, if it doesn't fall on a weekend. I think we discussed that last time, if,
Yeah.
maybe allowable for the weekend. I don't know if it can be worded.
You could do, through the Saturday following the 4th of July. Which, on any given year might be 6 days.
Yeah. I'm pretty flexible.
What about other holidays? What about New Year's? They tend to do them on hand. Those coming up tomorrow.
You tell me, Mr. Mayor, do you want them to be able to shoot them off on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve? Some of the-
Yeah, within the guidelines.
The only problem I see with that is the fact you're saying they can't possess them after July 6th, but if they can launch them, gonna have to buy them, if you buy them in July, you're gonna have to store them for the whole year. Now you're in violation.
I mean, that's solved easily enough if you just get rid of the possession part of the code, right?
Possession in public or something.
Yeah, or just simply limiting it to discharge and use, right? And if you want to hoard fireworks, that's, that's your business, right? Or if you want to save them for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, all legal fireworks.
Yeah, so exactly, just safe and sane's only.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I like this.
That was saying, well, at least we feel better. We've been waiting for this for how long?
Anything else that you want to give me direction on? But I think I've got a pretty good idea to put together an ordinance now that I think the council will, find satisfactory. Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Open to the public. Public got any thoughts or ideas on this subject? Seeing none. Go back. This is action item, we have to vote on that.
No, you'll vote on the ordinance when I put it together and then we'll go over it.
Very good. No more discussion on this item. We will move to item number 5, or I'm sorry.
Item number 6.
Item number 6, potential land exchange between the city of Ridley and Ridley Unified School District.
Mr. Mayor and City Council, what you have before you is the potential exchange of land between City of Gridley and Gridley Unified School District. Our recommendation is for you to receive the report regarding the potential land exchange between the City of Gridley and the school district and discuss the benefits, impacts of the proposal, provide direction to staff regarding whether to pursue the appraisals, anything necessary such as utility planning analysis, park expansion feasibility, and additional due diligence before entering into any negotiations. The city has been in discussions with a unified school district for the potential of a land exchange involving a city-owned parcel that's located within the industrial park, parcel number 9. It is currently owned by this, and against a property that is currently owned by the school district, being the located on the corner of Washington and Norman Street, formerly known as the Portuguese Hall. The school district has demolished the property, it's fenced, it's currently cleaned. They had planned for a construction of a future building to support operational needs. Again, it's prior to additional resources being used for development of the proposed property, the school district and the city could enter into a potential land exchange if there is interest from the council to move forward. At this time, there is no formal agreement other than getting your direction on whether staff should pursue and continue to negotiate and whether there's interest in pursuing that potential exchange. There's some discussion and financial strategic considerations we need to take into consideration prior to this decision. Although there is no immediate fiscal impact associated with the consideration of this item, the city council could direct staff to further evaluate the proposal, and there may be some costs associated. If there may be some appraisal services, maybe an engineer time and staff to review the location, any title review or surveying. We don't anticipate major costs associated with the title review as it's already been cleared and it's been demolished and cleaned up. School district is going to be building a potential storage unit there for records. But however, we did want to provide some costs potentially that can come out of an appraisal, legal review, title review, engineering. I provided the costs, potential costs in the staff report as outlined. The school district has reported investing approximately $109,000 in the property through acquisition related expenses, escrow back taxes, property abatement, demolition, and site fencing. While these expenditures do not establish the market value, they represent investments already made towards improving the property. And the city-owned parcel number 9 has not been appraised, so I do want to point that out. So the city staff is unable to determine whether the properties are comparable value at this time. And however, that doesn't mean that we can acquire an appraisal to find out the actual value. The appraisal that the city acquired did not include city-owned parcels. It only included the parcels that we were going to be selling. And as you are aware, I provided a map in the staff report for you to notice. I don't know if there's a way you can turn to that page. If you look at the map within the agenda, parcel 9 is approximately 2.5 acres. And the city should consider also the potential use that they could have moving forward for this parcel that's currently city owned. So for example, industrial land, it's part of our industrial land inventory for property that we are to keep. We could consider future sewer and wastewater infrastructure projects, economic development initiatives, future land acquisition costs. Should the city require additional property for utility or infrastructure expansion? You have the map on the screen here. Parcel 9 is the area that the exchange that the city would be exchanging its 2.5 parcels. We did meet with the school district out there. There was interest expressed on the parcel. It's positioned in a good spot for them to provide some storage. They are in attendance in the meeting today. And we welcome them providing any feedback after the report here. I did want to include potential public benefits. There's public benefits to us acquiring if you want to scroll down, Carmen, to the other site. There's a picture of what it looked like before. It's a 0.37 acre parcel, much smaller, but it's all about the location. It's right adjacent to Manuel Vieira Park. If the city wanted to expand the park and provide any additional facilities there. There are some considerations that the city will need is the site, parking, ADA compliance, the cost for that. So there's potential benefits on both sides whether we retain one or whether we do the swap and keep the wood for the site development for extension of the park. The potential site that the city, the Greeley Unified School District currently owns for that site is an expansion of an existing park facility, recreation programming, additional open space, recreational opportunities, playgrounds, sports facilities, maybe do a walking path that incorporates that area, potential picnic areas, public gatherings, enhanced youth and recreation programming, connectivity between the public facilities, increased eligibility for state and federal park grant opportunities. I imagine if we do the land exchange, we would go after a grant to incorporate some use for this area, maybe a community center or a building of some kind as a resource for the community, maybe a heating and cooling center. There's different options with grants. And again, it's not guaranteed. It's something that we would have to consider to apply for. Again, there would be a cost associated with us going after a grant for that. So there are some costs associated, the maintenance, the landscaping, irrigation, utility costs, security for the location, capital improvements that we would use for future park expansion. And then also any environmental remediation, which we don't anticipate any. So it is before you, council, to express whether there is interest. There have been some interest expressed from the school. There is, they have a plan, a design for a building. Time is of the essence. They want to move forward with their project. So I believe trying to get this to you as fast as we can to direct staff whether there's interest in an exchange or you want to retain the property or you want to look at other sites of the map to see if there's a potential exchange for the other units if you want to scroll back up. We do have other parcels. We have parcel number 3, 4, and 5 that are, one of them is 2.76. That's parcel 3. Parcel 4 is 2.68, and then parcel 5 is 2.79. Those are the parcels that we are able to sell. But the only one that we currently have spoken with the school district of considering is parcel 9 because that's the only one we currently own. We are to retain.
This looks like the Portuguese home. Yes, that was it.
Mhm.
And it's already.
It's demolished. Mhm.
Mayor, I have a question. So my question would be, just out of curiosity, would any of the other 3 parcels be of interest to the school?
We have the school.
Just
Did you have any questions for me about potential? The only thing I do want to point out is there is taxing agencies, there's called compensation agreements. We are in the process right now of getting those reviewed. Compensation, if you recall, compensation agreements are an agreement with all the taxing agencies of when we sell one of the parcels, such as parcel 9 that belongs to the city. We have to have an agreement in place that they are willing to accept the taxing. In this case, since we're not selling it, it's an exchange. We anticipate it's not gonna.
And the people.
But it would apply to the other parcels.
Right, okay, so, but this particular one, the school would probably be the biggest beneficiary of those taxes anyways. right?
Yes,
So-
on those
okay,
parcels
yeah,
on that,
okay,
yes.
Did, school superintendent?
That's the parcel we went and took a look at. We're not opposed to any of the ones that are out there. It was just the board's directive to kind of see if the city had an interest because location of parking, we've talked about that. It might be of city benefit to be that connected to the park. The location is key. What we're looking to do, we're looking for a storage facility. We'd like to move out of the old Save Warm building. We don't know what's gonna happen with that long term. We have a lease that goes through next year. So when she was talking about times of residence, this is a project we'd like to conduct during the school year. So prior to next year, we're up and running and able to move out of that building.
So any one of these other 3 parcels would
Yep.
be probably for you.
Yep, any of those other parcels would be just fine. So with 9's the one we looked at, we drove around out there real briefly, but any of those would work for us. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, we have to go back and confirm also with our consultant to see what that would look like, because generally those would be up for sale and taxing agencies would be receiving some of the revenue from the sale of the property. So because this is more of an agreement, we probably need to find out how that would work. So it's gonna require us to we're looking at one of those 3 parcels there on the side. We probably need to find out what that's gonna do.
So so we don't pin this down to, 'cause I was trying to leave that open just in case. I'm interested in the city acquiring, this, property where the old, building's at, which was home. Because of the location, it's right there on our park.
Well, I'm partial to hanging on to the parcel number 9 because it's all inclusive. There's almost 20 acres there with 3 different lots. Looking down the road, it could be a potential site for a new wastewater plant. Gives us a backup in case we have problems with that pipeline. I think it's a better exchange. These 3 pieces along the railroad tracks and yeah.
So you say sewer treatment plant right next to a sports complex?
It's just a thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. But to exchange one of the other, back, exchange with the other 3, I have a problem with that.
But then we'd have to pay a lot to those taxing.
Yeah,
Taxing
problems.
Well,
What percentage do we get, 18% or something?
It's a very minimal amount that,
So we would, it would be
Yeah.
a chunk of what that's valued at, we would have to pay all of those other entities.
I don't know how that would work, so we do have to reach out to our consultant to see how we would manage that.
how soon can we do that?
This week, I'll reach out to her.
I think we should, like I said, my statement is, I'd like to acquire that for the city. Where the old Portuguese Hall is at, how we work it out would be something that staff could work with the school and figure out, but maybe come to an agreement on how we can do that.
I think it's a good idea that to acquire that piece of property for extension of the park. But I don't want to give parcel number 9 to do it. We've got other 3 here that are the same size that maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, they're actually bigger. They're a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so I'm like, look at all options, that's, yeah.
I mean, we're just the schools are gonna get a parcel that's over 2 acres. For a lot, I don't know how big the piece that we're talking about, so who's coming out here?
Yeah, it's 0.37. It's under an acre.
So what are the positive aspects in the not so positive aspects of this spring?
What are the, I'm sorry, can you, what's your?
So what are the positives about making this spring
As I outlined on my staff report,
for us, for the city?
Yeah, she just wanted
well,
that.
you have the ability of expanding your recreational facilities. You have, it's right, the parcel that's owned by the Greeley Unified School District. I mean, if you look there at the picture, do you want a building there or do you want to expand your park? It's right next to Vieira Park. There's potential to expand your facilities, open space. You could do a walking path that encompasses that. We have issues with parking. You could do picnic areas. You could look into a grant for a community cooling center. There's sky's the limit if you want to build, if you want to utilize that parcel there. But I do wanted to bring to your attention, the parcel we're exchanging is one that the city is meant to retain. So there is going to be a potential ability that you're not, if you plan to use it for a recreation facility across from your soccer complex in the future, it's owned by the school district and there's going to be a building there. So maybe you want to consider the lots on the side that we're meant to sell.
So the negative aspects of this?
The negative of which one of,
Yeah, right.
the negative aspect is if you swap it and then later you realize you wanted to use parcel 9 or something, whether it's water treatment, a sewer, or you want to do more recreation activity in open space across from your soccer complex, you don't have that parcel anymore. So it's all about location.
The most beneficial to the city, for the people of it.
Well, I think that's what I have you, counsel, to direct us, but I am gonna say, if you can,
You should mention what would be.
that's what I'm hearing. I'm gonna give you my
And
opinion.
then we decide.
I'm gonna give you my opinion. I think you should retain parcel 9. And I think you should look into one of the side parcels that we were meant to sell. It's adequate. They're bigger than the parcel 9. You get to keep parcel 9 for future soccer fields or whatever else you want to do, basketball courts, a gymnasium. We have about 20 acres there combined. If you pull up the map, you can see. Do you want a building across from the soccer complex? Or do you want to leave that as open space for sports complex? Right across from your sports complex. Now, the parcels on the right there on the east side, you're supposed to sell. So you could have trucking companies there, you could have storage, mini storages there. Nothing wrong with having the school district have a storage facility there. You were gonna do mini storages in parcel 2. So that's something that I would recommend council consider, is maybe another parcel if it can be done. And you retain parcel 9.
Do we still own parcel 8? I know that was gonna be sold and it's something.
I believe it's in the process of the city retaining.
It's still pending, isn't it?
Yes. So you would have parcel 8, 9, and parcel 7, open space to build on and expand your sports complex. And then you could do parcel 5, 4, or 3, potentially for storage for the school district. If it can be done. It's worth looking into. That's my recommendation.
But
But I mean, it's council's decision.
Anybody else?
Is this still open to the community?
They haven't opened.
Council, no more discussion, council. I'll open it up to the public. Yeah.
Thank you. Maria Espino. Yes, 41 Mosquito. So just 2 things. As you go about this design of the park,
I agree there's pluses and minuses as she was pointing out. And from what I've heard, the properties were of 8 and 2 were available to us and then they weren't and then they are again. I'm not sure where all that is on everything, but as you guys go about thinking about where you want to move this city, definitely think about growth. Because I think we've always been a reactive council or community in general that are the city, and we're reacting to short things that are happening. I think when you look at this map, think about where you want to grow into when you're making your decisions. So put it together of, okay, we have Vieira Park. What do we want that to look like? Growth. We have the industrial park. What do we want it to look like? Growth. Because all you're seeing are these bits and pieces of, okay, we'll put a soccer field there. And then what? So I think our view is very short, very small, I want to say. So if we did, and as a community member and a person super involved in the parks, if we did have opportunity to grow and include 8 and 2, that'd be great. And what you guys do with the 9 and the old Portuguese Hall area, I mean, you guys will have to decide what's best interest. And I am open also to what your decisions are, but please think about that growth, because I'm really tired of seeing the reaction of like, oh crap, we need to do this now and it's too late. Oh crap, we missed out on this opportunity. Oh no, we missed out on this opportunity, which is all I see happening when it comes to parks. And a lot of other areas as well. So I just wanted to throw that out when you guys are thinking about these decisions that you're all making. So.
I wanted to add, just for the clarification of the record, parcel 2, the city is supposed to sell that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Parcel 8, we were supposed to retain. At the time they went into an agreement because parcel 1, which you can't see there, but it's used as a detention facility, a detention pond or a detention area. Staff at the time was under the impression that we had to give up parcel 8, and they did. It was an escrow. It's been in escrow, and now it's going to be potentially given back to the city and taken out of escrow. So the city's potential to retain parcel 8 and 9 and 7, those are ours. Parcel 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are to sell. So is it beneficial to consider the location that was once Portuguese Hall? Absolutely. It's right next to Vieira Park. Is it smart to trade 9 for that? Not if you can trade 5, not if you can trade 4 or 3. Because then you keep that whole area, 8, 9, and 7, one whole area, and you can plan for that. So that's just something for you to consider, council.
Making something bigger doesn't make it any very functional. The Vieira Park is a wonderful park, but it needs to become a little more functional than it is right now. It's a matter of perspective. And you know, we can always ambition more space, and we can always address some of the empty spaces we have in this area, right here. But what does that accomplish? The city, I mean, the school district will get something really good. And my feeling is that we are gonna get something good, but not as good as they are. I don't know. My perspective is that I want to be more equitable when we do have some business such as this. I like to work on contracts, for instance, negotiate. I've said something I've done in the past. So this is something that my opinion is that, well, if the majority of the council is okay with the train, you know, it'll pass.
So can I say something? So we're just going to, tonight, staff is looking to see if we want to move forward with research. We're not okaying anything at this point. So, and this is news to me as far as the other parcels this evening. That's totally new to me. But I'm glad that that's an option. So I would be willing to, you know, approve that council, that the council approve that staff look into this and see where we're at, do the appropriate thing. To work with the school.
I like that group. Yeah, Jermaine. What's the size of the Portuguese Hall lot?
0.334.
So we're given over 2 acres to get a third of it.
Yeah.
So I think, first of all, we should get an appraisal what these three pieces are worth and get an appraisal on what that corner lot is. I know it's a corner lot, it's got more value, but you know, are we apples and apples or apples and oranges here? I mean,
Right.
We're given 2.9, 2.7 acres for a third of it. To me, that's
Right.
that's not good business.
Well, they gotta look at this way, real estate wise, location.
Yeah.
Right, I wasn't finished. I think you made it very far. Let me add to that. I think it's a good move. But I want to keep parcel number 9 and see if we can arrange something
I agree,
on the other 3.
I agree.
I believe what Mr. Waterbury had.
I just want to make a call. So when we were in discussions, we meet with the city, just so you guys know, monthly. And we go over projects that we're working on, things we need to work with, safety, different issues. And when we were discussing what we're gonna do with Portuguese Hall, they've known for a long time, our intent to tear it down and put up a shop, a warehouse to store product that we need for the school district. Once we tore it down, it came to our thought that, hey, this is bordering the park. Do we want to at least offer the opportunity for you guys to have something that borders your property? So we said, hey, if you guys are interested in this, we would be willing to swap. We don't care where it is. It's just a shop. It's just a warehouse for us. So if you have something, let us know. And the city came back with, this is what we have. And we don't have a preference of which one of those lots we look at. We don't really care. We just need to put up a shop warehouse to store our stuff. For you talk about benefits. The benefits for you is that if you do want to put up a community center, this is right next to your park where you have pickleball, where you have all the other amenities around there. So it has more benefit, that lot that we own currently, Portuguese Hall, it has more benefit for you than it does for us. For us, it's just a lot. We don't care if it's there or if it's out at the industrial park or if it's anywhere. It does not matter to us. So if you're interested, great. If you're not, then we'll just put up our warehouse there. But once we put up our warehouse, you lose that opportunity to put up something there that could benefit you. That's why we wanted to bring it to your attention if you were interested. As far as the industrial park goes, we went out there and looked at it, and there's so much going on out there right now. There's not. That if we moved out there, you'd actually see a building within a year, and it might benefit the city to have somebody actually build something out there so that other people could show up and say, I want to buy lot 4, 5, 2, whatever, because hey, somebody's actually doing something out here instead of it just growing weeds everywhere. So if you're interested, we are definitely interested in talking with you and working. I would love to have one of the council members come to a meeting. We would definitely want to fast track instead of every month, maybe go to every 2 weeks meeting. We do have a timeline for us to put this building up because of our lease agreement that we have. So I just want to make sure that if you guys are interested, if one of you want to sit on the committee with us to discuss pros, cons, and if you guys come back with, hey, we're not interested, we're fine with that. We just want to know if you are or not. And if you are, it probably needs to happen fairly quickly, like thinking by September. We have to be able to get our building done by the end of the.
No, I believe we're interested if I get the gist of the council. To me, though, I mean, just to make it fair, no matter what you put on it or what we put on it, you're getting 2.7 acres for a third of it.
Yep, understand.
That's not good business, you know that.
Location.
Yeah,
That's real estate.
where the location is, and that's worth some money. That's why propose maybe we get some kind of appraisal what each piece of property is. That way we got something to negotiate about. I think we're enthused about the trade. We just want to make it fair.
Understand, I just wanna make sure you understand what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, no, I got you.
One comment I have, and you keep saying community center or something like that out there. Problem I see with that was when we used to have events at HTA Hall, you're not supposed to park on the north side of Norman. Everybody did, and then cars couldn't get through the street. And if you put a community center in there, there's not enough parking, you're gonna have that same incident that you're gonna get people parking along both sides of the road, and now you can't get emergency vehicles through. Anything else. So that's something just to think about
Yeah.
when you're, what we're gonna use it for if we do this.
Yeah, and I think that's the discussion here is the potential of whether it's, you know, whether you put picnic tables up or you make another area of basketball courts or whatever. It's just, it's a missed opportunity if I don't bring it to council. These are the parcels that the city owned. Parcel number 8 was under escrow at the time that we discussed that with, so the only other one was 9. So that's why it's up here. But it's worth, you know, finding out what parcel 3, 4, and 5, we do have appraisals for that one. We don't have an appraisal for 9. So I would need to know whether council is supportive of me pursuing 2, 3, and 4, I'm sorry, 3, 4, and 5. And looking what that's gonna look like, because we have to sell those. And I want to remind you, we don't get the money that is divided up amongst taxing agencies versus parcel 9. And if the city wants to retain parcel 9, because it is 2.5 acres. And it's right across from the soccer complex, so.
Could you subdivide 8 into 2 parcels and we would? We got 2, 3, and 4 there. We don't own that. We have to pay the other agencies.
Yeah, we'd have to find out what that's gonna look like.
That's what I was gonna say, if we can move forward to find out what that's gonna look like. It might not be as bad as what we're thinking.
Yeah.
We say go forward and see what it would look like.
And my motion would be, you know, to go into this, and this is can all be negotiated. Negotiations. So it's not like we're trading right now, it's just.
It's research.
Yeah, go forward and research.
Yes, you agree?
Yeah.
Do we need a motion on that, or just a?
I will really allow for administrator to look into this a little more and provide a report of what is positive for us and what is not so positive for us to proceed.
Sounds like we're all on the same page.
Yep.
Be just an action item or.
Probably a direction is what I need. Just,
How much I move forward with giving the staff direction?
to pursue opportunities to 3, 4, and 5 parcel.
Yes, that's my.
First one.
And appraisal on parcel number 9. Well, you have, no, you don't have that. You have.
We don't have an appraisal, and that's gonna be a cost. I can bring that back to you.
It's a 3 because the size.
You're not, are you,
No, my motion was for 2, but for the other ones,
not 9?
not 9.
A second. Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Mayor Parr,
Just so I'm clear, I kind of mixed up. We want appraisal on
No,
3, 4, and 5.
We have appraisals already. We need to check with our consultant to see what that's gonna look like if we were to move forward. 9 is not on the table.
9's on the
How
table.
do we know how much 9's worth?
Doesn't matter, it's not on the table. We're not even discussing that, just those other things. So you want it?
Right, I just
Okay, yeah.
sort around.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Things don't work sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right, yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
We will now move to item, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Item number 7, Chamber of Commerce donation request.
Mr. Mayor, Council, we did receive a request from the Gridley Chamber of Commerce to provide direction whether or not we want to continue a financial support for fiscal year 26-27. Historically, we have provided a donation to the chamber of $10,000 to assist with its operations and community activities. There is some information in the staff report that highlights the community events, support of local businesses, coordination of activities such as Red Suspenders Day, Winter Wonderland, National Night Out, and other community-focused programs. The chamber has also provided information about volunteer hours contributing towards community events and operations. There is an in-kind participation level that the city has. We do provide, our staff is out there putting back barricades, our police is out there. So we do provide some oversight on the event for security and also cleanup. So as council considers this request, it is important to note that the general fund revenues continue to be monitored closely. Council may wish to consider the continued level of support to the amount of funding that they have requested or provide any additional guidelines or contribution amounts that they wish to. Attached to the staff report is the letter from the chamber anticipating the response. We are going to be receiving information on the budget tonight. We have placed this item on the agenda prior to the budget so we can make an amendment. If so, there is a motion for us to provide a donation. We can amend the budget.
How much is the donation?
I believe they're requesting 10,000. But council has the ability to designate whatever amount or not continue with funding.
Reasons, yeah, 11,000.
Sorry?
11,000. I don't know, 1,000.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, another 1,000.
Instead of 10, 11.
They don't do work.
I'd be willing to just leave it at 10, they're asking for 10.
Yeah.
How many years have we been given 10,000?
As far as I've been here.
44. Oh yeah, a long time ago. So that was that's a lot of money. They're asking for 10. I would, this day and time with the economy and the way our budget and stuff is, I think we should stick to the 10,000 if we're gonna do it.
Okay.
So.
Any other suggestion?
In a motion.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have to open up, we have to open up to public,
Yeah,
and then,
moving this, item number 7 up to the, public. Chamber of Commerce donation. No response from the public. We'll, entertain a motion.
A motion to make the $10,000 donation they requested.
I'll second.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Mayor Park.
Yes. Move on to item number 8, Gridley Sports Complex. Change order 7.
Hi, Mayor and Council. So we have finally received our change order from the contractor on the sports complex. Changes required for the foundations of the sports lighting. Giving you guys a pretty thorough report here, outlining kind of where we are, where we've been, and what it's going to take to get us across the finish line. So
that said, the change order for the contractor did come in at $363,000 and change. What that gets us is 7 light foundations that range from 30 to 35 feet deep. They're a 42-inch diameter concrete cylinder that's fully reinforced full depth. So we know the soil is really bad out there. It's basically quicksand. So they have to come up with a method to drill down that deep in order to provide that stability that those light poles are going to require in order, 1, not to sink, and 2, not to fall over during winds or earthquakes or any of that kind of stuff. So we're already heavily invested in making this sports complex happen. And so for you is that change order and the new budget for the project.
Comment on change order. Seeing that.
Looking for your decision to move forward.
It takes a minute to swallow it.
I'm sure it does.
That's increasing the increasing 353,000. Motion.
To open up public hearing.
When will they start building?
They will go as soon as we give them the go ahead. Just back up. Also included in this, so we've obviously had delays because of this, these unforeseen conditions out there. So they're going to go back out, deal with the weeds. They have to lower some of the sprinkler heads that they put in there so that they can clear the ground again in order to make it suitable for planting turf. So all of that additional work that it's taken that they're going to have to do to make this project get back to being on track is also included in that.
Because it's taken 7 years for this project to.
It'll be 7 by the time it's completed. Yeah, by the time when we first started thinking about this project, maybe 6.
So would it be done before?
So the idea is to be done before the fall. We won't be playing soccer on it this year because the grass needs a good establishment time.
So by this time next year, it will be finished?
It would be finished. Unless we get another grant, we start another phase. And I'll say it will be finished with this contractor under the scope that we have them.
We have recorded, right?
Yeah, we still do, as part of the project right now, have the concession stand to purchase and some signage, some of the stuff that we didn't include in the construction contract. That is still included in the overall budget of the project right now. So when we approve this, we still have those other pieces that we will then get through completion. When we first scoped the project, we did leave some of those on the city to complete. Because we could get a better deal on purchasing of the prefabricated concession stand and bathroom, the picnic tables, the signage. Those are things that staff was able to do, and like the prepackaged concession stand and bathroom, they literally bring it out with a crane and set it down on the pad that we have. So so there's still a little bit of work to do after the contractor finishes. But they will have trees planted, grass planted, irrigation system, lighting, all of that installed, parking lot with sidewalk that's out there. And then once we have establishment, it'll be ready for kids to play on.
Just curiosity, how many light posts are there again?
7.
Where there's no possibility of a grant. So
Because we've already started construction on this, any grant that we pursue won't cover the cost of this piece of the project. The light poles are actually sitting out there already, right? We've already paid to have them delivered. We've already paid that portion of the light poles. So now it's just building a foundation that will support them. That's really what we're looking at.
248,000, that's putting juice to the light posts.
363. Yes, that's.
I'm just looking at the item installing device, lighting $200,000.
Yes, that's to get like.
That's just trading up.
Yep. Yeah, those other pieces are the incidentals that go along with the delay of the actual work. Sitting through a winter season.
Council, have any more comments? I'll open up to the public. On this item.
Lots of comments, but I'll keep them to myself.
No comment. Close public participation tonight, looking for
A motion to authorize city administrator to execute change order number 7 PCO 07 Franklin Construction Incorporated in the amount of $363,040.
One second.
Mayor Park,
yes.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, city operational budget. It's year 2026.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is we respectfully request the council approve the fiscal year 26-27 budget. This is following the study session that was held on 4th earlier this month. And I gave an overview of the budget, on the economic outlook of the city, talked a little bit about general fund reserves and the balances. Since then, there's been a couple of changes. Not very much, just a couple. To begin, we did add a part-time administrative secretary position that would be in the back. It would be a total of $30,000 for it's just part-time. It'll be allocated to multiple departments as that person will support administration, electric, public works, police, across the board really. And it's really to allow staff to do more of the code enforcement projects that we've been mainly that Pam has been doing, so it'll free her up a little bit, get the code enforcement stuff done. And we did remove Fund 933 from the engineering page. We made it its own page since that's kind of a bigger grant. That's the Feather River the Feather River Sewer Crossing Fund. So we made its own page. So if you look in the budget, it's its own page now. It's just all expenses relating to that project. We did add 2,500 to the parks department, and it's really just to replace miscellaneous playground equipment that fails and needs to be cleaned up or replaced really. So it's for that. There is a correction that the original staff report that was updated, that was uploaded was the incorrect one. And it basically stated that we added amount to the general fund reserve. And it included the security for the courtyard, new public works building, mower for parks, crack sealer for the streets, and a new street sweeper. The only one that's staying on is the mower for parks. The rest are removed. And that mower for parks is really going to be put into reserves for when the sports complex is complete. Need a bigger mower to maintain all that. So that's what it's for. Like I said, the other 4 items are removed. The only one that's staying on that's reserves for $35,000 is for the mower. I believe it's 70 grand or something. So we're trying to get a little bit ahead of it where we can. The fire contract, I believe there was a correction to it. It was in the budget, it's 1.54 million. It's actually a 1.57 million, which is a difference of about $35,000. So that was changed as well. There's a small increase to the electric department. It's mainly due for the addition of the part-time administrative secretary position. There was 50,000 added to engineering costs in the water fund. This was part of a CIP that we put money into reserves this fiscal year, this fiscal budget. We put 250,000 in there, and it was for the arsenic removal on one of the wells or all of the wells, I can't remember. All of them.
There's, well, 3 of them right now.
Okay. It's to start that process and it's to start, getting basically started. And that'll come out of reserves, so we funded it funded part of it this year, so I think we put 250,000 this fiscal year, so we're gonna take out 50 to start the engineering process, and we'll move forward from there. Let's see, look at small increase to the water for the part-time admin secretary. We did add 100,000 to the water equipment, to the water fund. It's to replace well equipment on Little Avenue. Again, it's something that needs to be done because I believe it's broken. Jerry has more information on that one. It needs to be replaced. So we added that amount there. And we are adding $6,500 to the water reserve fund. It's to purchase a 7-yard bobtail dump truck, and it's going to be split with sewer. So the sewer is also seeing a $65,000 amount being added to reserves for that, to be purchased at a probably later date. Sewer, small increase again for the part-time admin secretary position. We did add 50,000 to sewer town for sewer backup pumps. And we added 65,000 for sewer reserve for that bobtail, as well as 80,000 that were added to the sewer reserves for a 3/4 ton pickup. And then a little bit of miscellaneous. Sports complex revenue and projections were corrected. We did add a HVAC replacement for the museum to be charged out of the carbon credit fund, the greenhouse emissions we get for 25,000. We made the Greeley Sports Complex its own page as well. So Feather River and the sports complex have now their own page where we can just see data just pertaining to those projects. And those are all the changes. I did include links to the budget, both the interactive and the PDF version of the updated amounts that I just went over. And I did attach resolutions to the staff report, 2 of them, one for the adoption of the budget and the other one to for the appropriations, the GAN limit. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Take that. Going back to the fire department, did I hear you right? It increased by 85,000?
35,000.
35,000. What was that for?
It's for the contract. Chief Fear, yeah, he has more details on it.
So the addition was one of the line items within the contract did not calculate into the total. And so I didn't catch it until last week. So it's additional $35,000. What we can do is, in order to avoid the city having to pay for it, even though we would have to still vote for that total, but we can essentially salary save the position for a couple of months and in order to keep it under the amount that I brought to you. But it's O&E, which is it's training for new employees, it's uniforms and those types of things. So it's
just overlooked when you were adding it up.
What's that?
It was just overlooked as you're adding it up.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, like I said, we can salary save the position because we'd be adding a position which was partially funded last year. That position we would just wait to hire somebody for a couple of months until we offset that added cost. If that makes sense.
Comment on that? Any public comment on item number 9? City budget? Comment? We will entertain a motion.
I will motion we approve resolution number 2026-R-019 and resolution number 2026-R-020.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
Mayor Park,
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin. Move on to item number 10. Portrait view assessment acceptance.
Council, I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, it's pretty cut and dry here, the rest, we're recommending approval of resolution 2026R021. Or this is an overview of the portrait view map. And as you tap, go ahead and give it a tap. We'll see this is phase one. This is its own parcel right here. And so there's actually going to be 3 different parcels and these easements go through them all. So the applicant has used their own engineers to put together this complicated network of easements that are going to go through all of these. So that's the existing part of Orchard View that has been there since 2025. As you tap through the next one, this is phase 2 here. This is what they're currently working on. This in itself is a whole independent parcel. And these are the 2 parcels that we are primarily agreeing to accept these easements. These easements will give us access to the infrastructure to manage stormwater and our regular drinking water and wastewater and electric. And they will tie through all of these. If you tap it one more time, we'll see this is phase 3 that will probably come to realization in 2027. I imagine there'll be more at that time. But right now, we're just looking at these first 2 phases and how the easements go through these. And they largely follow the roadways, which is normal. We tap through one more time. Again, there's not a whole lot to show here. I mean, good luck focusing on it. But what we can see on the right-hand side on the bottom is the phase 1 easements. And you can kind of see how they'll plug into phase 2 on the left-hand side. Up top is an overview of them all. And what we're doing is we are accepting these easements as our responsibility. It gives us access to our infrastructure. And it's been looked at by the applicant's engineer and reviewed by our own team of engineers and signed off and approved as being appropriate. So we asked for that resolution to be approved.
Put water and sewer in there, huh?
Water and sewer and electric and stormwater management.
Comment in the council? Comment? That's public comment on item number 10. Seeing none. For a motion.
A motion to approve resolution number 2026-R-021. A second.
Councilmember Calderon,
Oh, yes.
Mayor Park,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yeah.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes. Did you need me to add the Part B authorization? Definitely like formal recordings. On the next page.
Okay, moving on to item number 11, City of Greeley Public Works Construction Standards.
The day has come. We're finally here. Hello, council and mayor and council, back again. So we presented these details and standards to you previously. We went through our public comment period. We have done our edits and thorough reviews. We've checked them against the code. So one thing that's a little different right now is that this resolution that we're asking you to adopt does have some language in there that we will come back and modify the municipal code so that it is in alignment with the construction standards. So once we adopt this, these will take precedence as of right now. And then we'll be coming back as we go through the ordinance changes. But other than that, we didn't really get any comments. We had some internal comments that there were a couple of developers that were working on some of them. And as we provided, they gave us a little bit of feedback, but they were pretty minor. So here we are ready to finally adopt new construction standards.
When will those go into effect?
tomorrow. As soon as possible, we'd like to get them posted and get the old ones taken down. That's what we're doing today. And I will just say that it's been a long time since these have been updated. I think it was 2016, the last time I saw some edits. And then some of them went back to 1995. They really are supposed to be, sorry about that. They really are supposed to be somewhat of a living document in the sense that as certain pieces of code change or standards change, we can come back and update them. Maybe one detail at a time or a section of the standards. But because of how long it's been and how many iterations, it really is good that we're doing a full overhaul and really bringing everything up to standard as we, come into the next era of developments and all of those things. We'll have a good solid set of standards to lean on.
Yes. So the standards, are they more restrictive than what they've been before, or will it be easier to do business?
I think it'll be more clear. It doesn't really change how restrictive things are. I mean, contractors still have to build to the building code, the plumbing code, the water code. What we're doing is trying to give that clear roadmap of what we expect, what we need from the developer from the get-go. Along those lines, if they're putting in a manhole, we want the manhole to be a certain type because that's what our operators use, right? And so that doesn't really change how restrictive it is. If anything, it makes it maybe a little more standard where really used to have an eccentric manhole with maybe ladder rungs in the side, and those aren't really the standard anymore. We want a concentric manhole so that they can easily put harness gear on for confined space entry and make their way down it. So those are the kind of tweaks that we're making. We're not really saying, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. I will say that one of the things that the old standards had a lot of in there that I didn't really agree with was like the separated sidewalks. These call outs for, these big landscape strips that maintenance has to go and maintain, right? Or we try to get our residents to do it and then they don't. And we have, this disheveled piece of property or, piece of land that's between the sidewalk and the curb and gutter. So we pulled those back and we're looking for a good 5-foot sidewalk, 5.5 with the curb and, attached to the gutter. It makes maintenance easier. It makes the city look a little bit better, but, we're not going to be a Roseville with these big arterials with bike paths going down. As the city grows, as residential neighborhoods, we want them to be accessible, but we don't want it to be burdensome to say, hey, you have to, give up extra property in order to build a landscape area or something like that. So those are some of the little tweaks.
Basic standard, that would be an option if someone.
Yep. Yeah, there's always that option to come in and approve things that are different and go through your planning commission, come to council to say, yeah, we like that idea. We'd like to, and that's how standards change, right? We see something we like and then we kind of adopt it.
Go ahead.
More comments, council, to open it up to the public for comments on this item for 11. No comments from the public. Look for a motion.
My motion that we approve resolution number 2026-R-022. Second.
Councilmember Calderon,
Yes.
Mayor Park,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we'll move now to council committee report.
Can report on the Senior Citizens Appreciation Day. It's Wednesday from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We've been working hard to get this going for the first time, so I hope it's a success. I want to thank everybody that has been involved in this, especially Jamie over there. Appreciate the spirit. basically, that's it.
That's a good report.
I was unable to attend the NCPA meeting this week. Andy Howard, other is retiring. CPA. Joe's a new replacement. You have his name?
Tony Zimmerman.
Tony Zimmerman. He was voted in. Catalina in my place, voted for the city of Ridley. I met the man, he's well qualified as most people on that board at NCP. I think it was a very good choice. And maybe next time, if there's more information, the next council meeting on that item, council member Catalina can contribute. That's all I do.
I attended the flood control. We approved amendment with HDR for engineering services related to the Feather River West Levee project that we work. We also approved a task order amendment with WSP and RF Engineering for required work efforts related to construction at the Orville Wildlife Area Robinson Rift project, which I think I got yesterday or the day before. Actually, maybe Friday, that they're moving forward with that. I also attended the mosquito abatement meeting. Mosquitoes, there's more mosquitoes this year so far. They are using the sentinel chickens for samples, bi-weekly. The CO2 trapping has continued. Mosquito pools are being submitted for mosquito-borne diseases to the health department. Or, they inspect it to see if there's any West Nile or anything. So far, as of June 3rd, 17 pools have been submitted for virus testing. Also, there's so many different mosquitoes. Don't ask me what the difference is. I couldn't remember. It's Aedes aegypti, which is kind of a bad one from like down south, has been detected again in the county. I think when I first started on the mosquito safety board, I'm not sure if there was any of those mosquitoes here. So it's been about 10, 12 years. I could be wrong. No West Nile virus has been reported within the district service area. West Nile has been identified in 14 dead birds and 10 mosquito pools in California to date. I believe that night spraying meeting was last week, so either this week or next week is when they're going to start spraying. And that's after. Thank you.
City administrator report.
Most of the meetings I attended were internal. A lot of checking in with staff during budget sessions. And then also just strategic planning for the next upcoming fiscal year. I did attend a meeting where we had an outside party that came in and they were asking potential projects for a interest in a data center. It's very new. They were just looking at information. There's nothing to report at this time. And we will be bringing back a report if anything comes out of that. That's all I report.
Department head report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll start with an update on the fire department. For the month of May, we ran a total of 86 calls within the city and 74 calls in the county for a monthly total of 160 calls. This included 4 structure fires and 5 vegetation fires in the greater Gridley area. We are planning on placing the new truck 74 in service this coming Friday. The manufacturer's rep is not here, providing some specific training to our ladder truck, between now and Thursday. And so once we're complete with that, plan to place the ladder truck in service, and we'll be putting on called a push-in ceremony, for placing it in service. That'll probably be in early July. Personnel began weed abatement. 94 violations have been turned over to code enforcement so far. Fire personnel assist with several public events, including the egg drop in Biggs, the kids fishing day, and also flying the flag for the Memorial Day service at the cemetery. And then Truck 74 assisted the city of Orville with 2 commercial structure fires while the ladder truck was down for repairs. I think that this demonstrates the benefits of regional fire protection as we would receive the same service from them if the tables were turned. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Didn't that happen like 2 or 3 years ago? It was actually reversed on that cannery fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our truck was down and they came over.
Yep, absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a major report from the police department.
Nothing from Public Works today.
Nothing from Brad.
Well, since the administrator gathered back, I just want to say with the data center, they have not proposed this name. Just to clarify, they came in to check our polls, but there's nothing really proposed. If and when it does, it will go through a very deep review, so anybody who's concerned knows that it'll be an extensive review on it. Aside from that, everything is moving forward with all the projects and planning, and including our safety element and Lake Hill environmental review. If there's anything significant to talk about, we have a planning commission again. So that's, as you guys know, you approved them. But that's exciting because we have a lot of stuff that's been backburned for a long time, and we will start pushing things through. So be prepared for that. All right, have any questions?
I think we heard from all departments. Yep. So, no other comment? We'll go into closed session.